historic day in the criminal justice system of the United States. For the first time, a child of the sitting U.S. president is found guilty in a court of law. Hunter Biden guilty of 3 felony counts related to his purchase of a firearm in 2018. So joining us live this morning to discuss this is former Florida Circuit Court Judge Elizabeth Scherer. Good morning. Thanks for being with us today.
Good morning.
So, is this case something that typically heads to a jury because the gun was not used in a crime? He has no prior convictions. Even one of the jurors afterwards spoke and said, this is a waste of taxpayer money.
I think ordinarily, especially in federal court, the typical thing that you see is a guilty plea being entered. It's my understanding that in this case there was a deal worked out between Hunter Biden and the prosecution where he would plead to 2 lesser crimes, misdemeanor crimes. Of course, that has to be ratified by the judge, and it's my understanding that the judge would not accept that plea to a lesser offense of a misdemeanor.
So he faces up to 25 years in prison. How likely is that?
I believe with his criminal history, which is none, and the nature of the offense, in other words, there are a lot of mitigating factors that I believe will be presented to the judge during the pre-sentence investigation period, one of which he's clean and sober. He's been clean and sober for quite some time. He reported the incident to the police as soon as he found out that the gun was disposed of. I think all of those things are in his favor, and I would say it's unlikely that he get a significant amount of jail time. If he does, I would say it would be minimal, like 30 days in jail.
Now, we hear that he's going to appeal, that is. The president even echoed that, saying that, he's a father, and but he will respect the justice system. Does he have much ground for appeal?
The thing is that with this crime, the elements are pretty straightforward, and the prosecution hit each element. In other words, there are different 1, 2, and 3 that needed to be proven. That he lied, that he was in fact a drug addict or using drugs at the time, and that he purchased his firearm, that he filled out the paperwork. I mean, all of those things were quite easy to prove, and the prosecution, I believe, did prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I think the jury's choice here was either to find him guilty or do what's called a jury pardon, which of course is not a legal thing, but it is a thing that happens sometimes when a jury just does not agree with the crime charged.
But here's the next issue, right? He's got this tax case coming up in September. At this point, he is a convicted felon. So if he gets convicted in that case, could we see enhanced charges, enhanced sentencing?
Sure. Now that he has a criminal history based on this charge, he's got 3 felony convictions, that will play a part into his sentencing and the overall, what we call a score, in his next trial.
So that means he could possibly see jail time if convicted there.
I mean, he could, for sure.
All right. There's a lot more to come in this case. Thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.